The Pacific Championships, one of the best international rugby league events in the world. The iconic moments, the tradition, but it has a problem. See, it's not with the players or the jerseys, because they are great, but I believe it's with the format. Currently, there are two competitions, which is the Bowl and the Cup. The Bowl is known as the lower division. There used to be relegation promotion between the two, but now with them getting rid of that, it's just a 3-team each competition that battles out for the win. Today, I will change that and give my opinions on what they should do. So, let's begin. I do like the idea of 2 divisions, but I believe you need more Pacific nations than we've already got, and these guys would be much smaller, and probably not making it really any competitive, let's be honest. So I went with the idea of just one competition. This includes 6 nations. So this is the 6 out of the 7 nations. Obviously one nation wouldn't be able to compete because they'd be going on their international game versus England. So basically Australia, if we go off what's happening this year. So 6 teams. I think the first round is a group stage. Only one group where we see 4 teams advance. This still gives a bunch of opportunities for these lower ranked sides to get in. Because you might be saying, oh, it's pretty obvious, no, because the 3 Pacific Cups, previous Pacific Cup sides are just going to go through. It still gives a perfect opportunity for one of these Pacific Bowl lower ranked sides to get through, and we could also still see some upsets. So with 2 getting eliminated, then they go to a semi-finals where we see first take on 4th. Then 2nd versus 3rd, really just rewarding the people who finished high up in the group, which just makes the most sense. So the winner of each of the games goes to the final to see who wins the Pacific Championships. It wouldn't be called the Pacific Cup or the Pacific Bowl, just fully named the Pacific Championship because that's what it is. So before I go on to a bit more detail, here is what the league's thoughts on this was.
Ollie says, I feel like they should combine the Bowl and Cup, 6 teams, top 4 go to semis and then a final. That's sort of what I was talking about earlier, the fact that we only get 2 games in a weekend and I feel we could get 3. I don't mind that idea. The only thing is that what it would give us, especially if, say, it was in, let's make it last year's lineup, where instead of Samoa, you have Australia. You would then potentially have Australia playing the Cook Islands, New Zealand playing the Cook Islands, which would be a bloodbath, an absolute bloodbath. It'd be a pretty dominant win, I think, if Australia or New Zealand were to play Fiji even. So, yeah.
So an argument made was that the Bowl teams wouldn't be able to compete, but I disagree. See, Papua New Guinea, Fiji and the Cook Islands could compete in my opinion and possibly cause some great games and some upsets. This would also cause players to play international rugby league for smaller nations because now they can compete and play against the bigger ones instead of deciding not to play at all or play for one of the bigger nations such as Australia, England or New Zealand, but mainly just Australia is the main example here. For the group stage, everyone would play each other one time. So, meaning more games on a weekend, which would be great to see, but it would take a bit longer than the Week Cup we see now. But the format does give everyone a good chance. But now it's time to talk about the venues, because I can't just talk about this tournament and then not talk about some of the main details like players, venues, all of that. Now for an example, we'll think about this year's teams. So Australia are out. Overall, you'd see 15 games which would be played throughout the group stage. But who would host each game? That is the question. Well, so the previous year's winner, which would have been Australia, would take home 3 home games. But because they are not competing, whoever came runners-up, so second place, would get 3 home games. Well, 3 other teams get 2 home games each. And finally, the 2 worst ranked teams get 3 home games as well. So it would look a bit like this kind of thing. I'll put it off to the side. We'll just put it up to the front really here. So A, this is basically in order. The best ranked team, so either last year's winner or last year's second place, gets 3 home games in round 1, round 2, and round 3. While B, C, and D all have 2 home games. B's in round 1, round 2, C's in round 1, round 5, and D's in round 4 and round 5. with E and F being the worst ranked teams, so 3 home games, round 3, round 4, round 5, and for F, 3 home games, round 1, round 2, round 4. Now, I know this is just a little thing here, but hopefully you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And you might also argue, oh, why did the worst ranked teams get it? Well, I think it's just fair going into it, because an argument which everyone would say is, and I mentioned it before, these pole teams I believe can compete, but a lot of people couldn't. But I think if they got solid home support behind them, Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea, Fiji, I'm not saying the cup teams are probably not going to be a part of the teams who get the 3 home games because they're the worst ranked. It would probably come from the bowl teams, meaning Papua New Guinea, we know what they can do at home, and I'd love to see the same with Fiji and the Cook Islands, which could help them out a lot and make it more equal. So hopefully you kind of got an idea there. So for the knockouts, the home games would be decided basically just like the high position you finished in the group. So basically, as I said before, first goes fourth, first place gets the hosted because they were higher up. With the final being played in the Mutual Stadium, so in this case, Australia Combank Stadium. Also, you could change it up with only last year's winner and the worst ranked teams getting 3 home games, and the second worst ranked teams play is another team at another Mutual Stadium. So basically, they would be playing in whatever Mutual Stadium. So in this example, Australia in Suncorp. So even though Australia are not competing in the tournament, they would still have 2 games there. So that's an idea what they do. Obviously, we do see currently Tonga Samoa is that game, which we are seeing at Suncorp. So it'd be kind of something like that. That would just be all based on the ranks. But anyway, it's a bit confusing. Please, if you got any ideas or just anything you're confused about, and anything really you want to change, please just give me your opinion. Also, you can put down little predictions if you want, who you think would win, some moments, stuff that could happen. I'd love to read all of them. Probably not going to get many comments, but hopefully I do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope maybe the Pacific Championship can take note, because this seems like an ideal one for me. So please consider subscribing. I am on the road to 1k subscribers. Also, so there are many more people who see this. And anyway, have a great day, guys. Goodbye.